Oh, Lord have mercy. What a way to spend a Saturday night, huh? Frogs win. Frogs win. 23-17 at West Virginia. Yes, it is true. The Frogs are going bowling, so book your tickets to Albuquerque now. Um, hey, listen, Morgantown's a tough place to win. Wins have not come easy for the Frogs in Morgantown. They certainly did not come easy tonight, but there's a lot of things that we could say about this victory and about the Frogs' path moving forward now as we head into the bye week. But before we get to any of that, I need something from you. First of all, I need to put my music. I need you to subscribe to the show. All right, please subscribe to the show. There it is, running across the bottom of the screen at TCU VOCFB. That's the go-to place for all of these post-game shows, but we also simulcast on the main channel at Big 12 VOCFB. That's where you're also going to see the Biggest 12. That's the flagship show, your favorite weekly Big 12 college football show on YouTube. So check out the Biggest 12 on Tuesday nights. And it's me, Clint Foster. Hi, if you didn't know already. Please subscribe to the show. We're very close, 12 channel. It's getting to 1,000 subscribers. And for those of you who know anything about YouTube, that is a crucial number that we got to meet. So please, 20 more people. That's all I need. 20 more of you to hit subscribe on that channel. Help me make it happen. Come on, let's do it. While you're doing that, follow me at Clint Foster. At Clint_Foster55 on Twitter, X, whichever way your bread's buttered. And follow my personal YouTube channel at Clint Foster Creations. That's where you can catch Remember the Alamo Bowl. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. It's going to be definitely worth your time. I put a lot of effort into that one. And also follow Voice of College Football on all your social media platforms. Great place to engage in conversation. And check out the website, vocfb.com, and the shop in there. We got a great store on the Voice of College Football's website. Also, download us wherever you get your podcasts and give us a 5-star review. Hey, listen, this is not your first day on the internet. You know this stuff. You know what to do. So do it. Help your man out. Help a brother out and do it for me. Okay. Get ready to talk about one of the worst wins I've watched in a while. Good grief. Yes, so the Frogs win 23-17. And point number one, another poor road performance. The Frogs cannot seem to barely put one foot in front of the other whenever they've been away from home this year. And here it's happened again. It has happened again. Let me read some stats for you here. Josh Hoover was 24 of 39, 247 yards and one touchdown. Sonny Dykes said in the postgame show he didn't feel like Josh Hoover was quite the same after he took a pretty significant blow to the head on that first drive. Man definitely does not remember the quadratic formula anymore. Something semi-important, but semi-not important definitely fell out in that moment. But yeah, not his best game. I mean, he was still fairly accurate. I wouldn't say that Josh Hoover was the biggest issue of the night. He did had some off-target passes, of course, but in general, it was just a very sloppy, undisciplined, bad performance like we've seen in every single road game this year. At times, the play calling was not particularly great. The defense got picked apart in the secondary again. The cornerbacks in particular got exposed again. The offensive line, until late in the game, started playing a little bit better, shockingly, after Colton Deary got injured. But early in the game, the offensive line was not performing very well. If there was one bright spot, well, actually, there were two bright spots, but if there was one bright spot on this offense, it was Trent Battle. Give that man the MVP. Give him the game ball of the day, because I don't know if it was a career game for him, but it certainly looked like a career game from the eyeball test. 19 carries, 89 yards, a touchdown. He had a nice big 46-yard run that he broke on a beautiful pull by Chase Curtis. I'm always going to give Chase Curtis his flowers, especially on some great blocks. Kavorian Barnes, only 8 carries, 27 yards. Now, a lot of people were texting me about this. A lot of people are worried, concerned, and hey, why wouldn't Kavorian Barnes in the game? My understanding is he's still nursing an injury. He wasn't 100%. So I totally stand by the idea of, hey, if Kavorian Barnes isn't 100%, let's hold him out of the game that we should win handedly. We should win handedly without him. We did not win handedly, but we did win. Okay. And yes, okay. I hate to pee all over a parade, right? And a win's a win, and a win is better than a loss. But like, oh my God, this was so frustrating. It's frustrating because this team is better than this. This team is more talented than they show. It's discipline, it's intangibles, it's effort, right? That is missing, and that is very frustrating. I am going to get to your comments. Do not worry. I'm going to get to your comments. Let me finish reading some of these stats. Eric McAllister's your leading receiver. 9 receptions, 124 yards, and a touchdown. He had a heck of a lot more targets than that, and one fumble that thankfully bounced directly into the hands of Major Everhart, who had a great game. Major Everhart's another person. So, okay, 3 bright spots. Major Everhart had a great game. Only 4 receptions for 45 yards, but he looked great in every single one of them. Jordan Dwyer was primarily there as a pass interference drawer. 3 catches, 26 yards, and DJ Rogers, he had a nice 16-yard catch, totaled 3 catches for 23 yards. Yeah, so, and the defense didn't have a particularly good late portion of that game. Scotty Fox Jr., he was your passing leader on the J. We let a guy named Scotty Fox throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns against us. Okay. Let that sink in. Here's your other big concerning thing, as long as we're talking about concerning aspects of this performance on the road. In the second half of this game, I'm going to read you TCU's drives for the second half of this game. 7 plays punt, 8 plays turnover on downs, 5 plays punt, 13 plays field goal, 6 plays kneel on it to end the game. Good gravy. I mean, just terrible. If you didn't watch me on Kuz's Corner this week, you should go check it out. Kuz has a great show. He's a West Virginia fan. And we talked at length about what to expect from this game, and he talked a lot about what to expect from West Virginia. This is not a good West Virginia team. It's not. Okay? And I mean, I don't necessarily take pleasure in saying this. All of my West Virginia fan friends are lovely people, and I would like to see West Virginia do well. Even if it means that they usually give us hell in Morgantown. But this is not a good West Virginia team, right? They beat Pitt by sheer miraculous force of will. This is a team that lost to Ohio, okay? This is a team that has not won a single Big 12 game. They are not good, and they don't have a good defense. And this offense that is supposed to be, we're supposed to have this coach who's a quarterback whisperer and an offensive coordinator who listen, I am not going to be one who craps all over Kendall Briles for his job performance. I mean, I think by and large, he is a very solid offensive coordinator, and he has done a lot with a little the last 2 years. But we have a lot of talent on this team. We've got an offensive-minded staff, and our offense is a steaming pile of dog crap right now. It is, okay? I take no pleasure in saying that. I'm a TCU fan, lifelong, from the mud, okay? I want us to be good. And I hope that me saying this lights a fire under somebody's butt and we can play up to our potential, because, oh my God, right now we are not. 23 points against West Virginia is not playing up to your potential. 3 field goals, man. You had to settle for 3 field goals against West Virginia. Come on, be so for real. Okay. Let's get to some of y'all's comments. And by the way, as always, the call-in link is in the chat. Please do call in, air your grievances. I want to hear from you. Let's talk about this thing together. Okay. Yeah, Clint Moses. Thankfully, they did not cue Country Roads tonight. Yeah, Comfy, I see you saying, I really do. Okay. That's a common sentiment, and I totally get it, right? And there was some puzzling and frustrating play calls. That's going to happen. You know, everybody's human. But there were definitely a couple times, like there was a 3rd or a 4th and short. I can't remember exactly which one, but everybody in that whole dadgum stadium knew that Kendall Briles was either going to call a screen or a slant, and he called a slant, and they sniffed it out, and they stopped it. I mean, come on, man. We know you're a creative offensive coordinator. You draw up great plays, and when you run the ball, good things happen. And it's just like, why do we? Come on. We're better than this. We're better than this. Okay, Joe, what you got? You've got a lot of comments for me. We can't keep playing soft. If we have that mentality, is why we can't finish hard games when the time matters. Practice how you want to play. Bro, punctuation, please. I'm begging you. You play how you practice. We play soft in the second half. Yeah, everything you're saying is true. Everything you're saying is true. I talked about it. I believe I talked about it last week on the show. Definitely talked about it after Kansas State. But the chip on the shoulder is missing from this program, right? Not just the 2025 team. This program no longer has that chip on the shoulder, that effort, that desire to prove people wrong and rub their face in it. That does not exist in Fort Worth anymore. And we have to find it. We have to find it. Yes, no good team plays soft. I'm hearing you, Joe. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yeah. Also, and yeah, this is worth mentioning. Eric McAllister, for the second time this season, maybe third, definitely second, seemed to have an apparent touchdown. This was, I think, in the second quarter of the game. He caught a ball in the end zone, took 2 steps with it. He's in bounds, and the ball gets ripped out of his arm after he's out of bounds before he goes down to the ground. And this is one of those things where I suppose by the letter of the law that technically that's not a catch, but like we've got to. It's one of the reasons why watching the NFL is so frustrating for me. What the heck? Like, we should be able to be honest with ourselves and be like, yes, he caught that ball. He went out of bounds. His feet were in bounds. That's a touchdown. But my understanding of the rule, of the letter of the law, is that it was not a touchdown because you have to complete the catch. You have to go all the way to the ground with the ball, even if you are out of bounds at that point, which is just, frankly, very silly, very silly. Clint, thank you so much. You're too kind. Kisses to you in Corvallis or wherever you are. I don't actually know if you live in Oregon. But thank you for always tuning into the show. Even the TCU shows, man. Like you don't have to watch this. You can just watch the Big 12 show. Okay, but yeah, Joe, I think West Virginia did want it more. They did want it more on Coal Night, no less. You know. All right, Leo. West Virginia almost smoked us tonight. Another 5 minutes. We tried our freaking hardest to give that game away. And if it weren't, here's another reason that Trip Battle's your MVP, is he somehow came up with that onside kick when nobody else wanted any part of it. He got in there and got that onside kick. It's just how TCU was able to run out the clock in that game. Again, despite the fact that Eric McAllister fumbled the ball and tried to give it away, right? I can't call too angry. Hey, you know what? That's good. That's good content, man. I'm not going to dissuade you from doing it. I would love an angry call. Second half offense was horrible. Yes. And here's the other thing. Here's the other reason why this was like one of the worst ways you could possibly spend a Saturday night. Half of y'all didn't even get to watch it. Right? So we're on ESPN Plus. I know for a fact my mom didn't watch it. So you know, if you don't have the Hulu Disney bundle, or if you're not paying $12 a month or whatever the hell for ESPN Plus, too bad. But actually probably not too bad, because you're saving your money. That broadcast was horrific. It was terrible. I didn't watch the Baylor broadcast because I was at the game, right? But of course, we lost the feed in the middle of the first half, right? When it's like we come back and, I guess we had to settle for a field goal because we couldn't score. That was, I think, whenever it went to 20-7. On that drive, we lost the feed. It went to completely black. That broadcast team was surely one of the worst I've ever heard in my life. I mean, zero chemistry, so much dead air. Like, come on, guys. Is this really the best that you've got? I mean, I understand that ESPN Plus is clearly your D team, but come on. Like, you're the worldwide leader. Like, give me a job, man. I have play-by-play experience. You're listening to the former voice of the Mineral Wells Rams, okay? Get me on there. I do a lot better job, okay? And not to mention, our color guy was an NFL scout. Like, literally hang me right now, okay? Why do we want to hear from an NFL scout as a play-by-play, as a color guy on a college football broadcast? By the way, they also had West Virginia's record wrong on the score bug for like the whole first half. What are we doing? It was horrible. It was horrible. Nothing fun happened tonight. It was not enjoyable in any way. I felt personally offended and attacked by everything that happened on my screen from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock. It was not fun. It was not fun. Just trying to catch up with all y'all. Okay. So, I referenced this. Let's talk about one bright spot. Okay. Let's talk about one bright spot. We can kick. Now, we can't punt. Notice I did not say we can punt, because we cannot do that. I mean, just quite possibly the most inconsistent punter I have ever seen at TCU. We currently have, which is frustrating. But we can kick. Grant McCashland, 3 for 3 on the night, which is exciting. This is a kid who's been filling in for Kyle Limmerman all year with Limmerman's groin injury. But did I say Grant? Nate McCashland. Nate McCashland, 3 for 3, his long of 41 yards. This is a kid that really didn't seem like we could depend on for much of the season, but here he came through in the clutch, and he did kick 3 field goals for us. Liked for us to convert all of those drives, but he did kick 3 field goals for us. Let me complain one more thing about the offense. I mean, because again, this is what's so frustrating is this is supposed to be a program that is good at offense, right? And yet it's the defense that by and large has been our strength this year and has still been put in so many bad situations and out there, after 3 and out, after 3 and out, after 3 and out, and eventually they give up scores. So like they've had their issues too. But like, why is our offense so bad? Let's see, this first drive, I can't remember if it was the first drive. Okay, no. So we had the first drive, we got a field goal that you would have liked to have gotten a touchdown. Okay. And then it was a turnover on downs. So yes, West Virginia's second drive was a turnover on downs. You get the ball deep in West Virginia territory again. And what does the offense do? 3 plays, negative 10 yards, punt that goes into the end zone. That told you all you freaking needed to know about what kind of a night it was going to be. All right. I told you all you freaking needed to know. You got an opportunity here to get the ball in the end zone. They do it on the following drive, yes, but like, come on, man. I mean, this team, it's comical how slow they start in these games. They start slow, and half the time they can't finish the games either. They did manage to finish by the skin of their teeth. All right. It was not pretty. And here's the thing. Like, let me put this banner back up here again. I've said, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Morgantown's a very tough place to win. But that really didn't factor into this game tonight. Again, this is not a good West Virginia team. And that was not a sold-out crowd on homecoming. I mean, they were whipping the camera around, and the whole upper deck at one point was completely empty. I mean, this is not the Morgantown that you're used to. This is not the hostile environment with burning couches that's tough to win in and the moonshine flowing, okay? It wasn't. So why the hell did we win 23-17? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, yeah, Joe, let's hear what you got to say about this, about Andy Avalos. Yeah, I think I agree with you here. Andy Avalos is better at coaching toughness. He is, your typical defensive coordinator, hard-ass kind of guy. You can tell hearing Andy talk, his mentality is going to make you run through a wall, or Sonny makes you want to sit down and watch a movie under a blanket. Yeah. Well, right. The refrain all through 2022 was do your job. Do your job. Right. Okay. Well, and it worked for that team, right? Because that team already had that discipline. They'd taken their lumps. They'd been through the fire and the flames, and they needed a coach who was going to be like, I trust you, go ball out, right? But it's not proving very effective right now. Okay, so I really don't know that there's much else to say about this game other than what I have already said. If y'all have anything that you would like to add, again, call in. The link is in the chat. Let's do this thing. And I'm going to have a quick word from Voice of College Football Bets before we get to my last thought. So here we go.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
So I want to share with y'all a tweet from Matt Jennings. If you don't follow Matt Jennings on Twitter, I really don't know why you're watching this show, to be completely honest with you, but follow at Matt A. Jennings. He said, this TCU team has an uncanny ability to win in ways that do not feel like winning. Could not have said it better myself, right? Obviously, you prefer to win. A win is a win, and wins are nice, and wins are good, but that was miserable, and it was terrible. And yet again, it's the same issues that we've seen all season, okay? This team does not appear to be improving, and that is incredibly frustrating. So on to my last point, and thank you, Matt Clark. So on to my last point. That's a perfect segue into my last point. Can the Frogs be a factor in the title race? Sonny Dykes said at the beginning of the season, this is our goal. And frankly, it should be TCU's goal and expectation every season. I will not apologize for this. With our resources, with our situation in Fort Worth, with our recruiting base, we should be competing for the Big 12 championship and a playoff spot every single year, no questions asked. That should be the expectation, all right? And he said this year, the expectation for this season is to compete for a Big 12 title. So can the Frogs be a factor? Well, the short answer is technically yes, right? If TCU finds a way to win out and gets a little bit of help, then you're sitting in Arlington, all right? The shorter answer is hell no. Hell no, they cannot, okay? Not if they continue to play the way that they've been playing all season. I think it is, listen, I'm not one who relishes in watching TCU lose to prove a point. You know, I'm not one who's like, oh, yeah, I'm right. So, like, there we go. You've proven me right, and TCU's losing, and it makes me feel good. No, I'm a TCU fan. I want to see TCU win. I want to see TCU do good. But there is a very, very real situation. My expectation is that TCU is going to finish this season 1-3. That's my expectation. Look at what's left on this schedule. Okay. Look at what's left on this schedule. We got a bye week. We have Iowa State at home, which I do believe we can beat Iowa State simply because Iowa State's an even a bigger quagmire than we are. Their entire two deep on defense is injured. They found a way to lose to BYU today, despite being up big. I think we can beat Iowa State because it is a home game. That BYU game is going to be a slaughter. It is going to be miserable. We're going to lose to BYU. We very likely will lose to Houston on the road as well. Houston, I'm looking at it on TV. They're showing a replay. But last I looked, Houston was up on Arizona State 10-0. Let's see if they show me the score here in just a second. 17-0. Houston's kicking Arizona State's butt. Of course, we were doing that at one time, so we'll see if it's able to hold. But I don't like us against BYU. I don't like us against Houston. And I dang sure don't like us against Cincinnati, who just took Baylor to the absolute woodshed. Now, we did that as well until the last 4 minutes of the game after 3 lightning delays. But Cincinnati is playing very good ball right now. And they have a good defense, right? Cincinnati and BYU both have good defenses. Our offense cannot move the ball against bad defenses. West Virginia, Kansas State, Colorado, for God's sake, okay? This is not going to end well. We're going to end up 7-5. We're going to be in the, peanut butter crunch Jiffy Bowl, and no one's going to feel good about anything. And the issue with that is that 7 wins. I don't know. I don't feel like I can really make a judgment on Mike Buddy at this point. He literally just got here. But my thought is that 7 wins is just good enough that no changes get made at all, right? And you just kind of go, oh, shucks. Well, the ball didn't bounce our way a few times, and let's try the same thing again next year and see if we can be a factor next year with Josh Hoover being a senior and yada, yada, yada. I'm assuming he'll be back for a senior year. He hasn't really, he's putting up numbers, but I don't think he's played in such a way that would earn him draft consideration, in my opinion, yet, right? He can be that guy if he puts together a season like he's capable of putting together maybe next year, but I don't think this year. So It's just a really frustrating place to be in right now. I had my group chat, my college group chat was having a very passionate conversation in the waning moments of that game and immediately after, just about the future of TCU and like, where do you go from here, right? This team is so frustrating to watch and so plays so bad at such inopportune moments. And it feels like a culture issue. But then again, too, one of my friends was making this argument, and I was like, hey, please call into the show, argue with me on the show. Stop texting me, argue with me on the show. We'll see if he calls in. But he made the point that, well, do you really want to be competing for a coaching hire with Penn State and Florida and, possibly Texas and all these other schools that are in the mix for new coaches? I mean, okay, sure. Probably not. Arkansas, right? Arkansas is also going to be looking for a coach. Lots of teams looking for new coaches. But it's like, come on. I mean, this can't be the answer. This can't be the answer. All right, let's see what y'all are thinking here. Okay, TCU will finish 0-4. We very well might. We very well might, John. We very well might. And Matt said the same thing. I saw you, Matt Clark, saying the same thing. I expect us to beat Iowa State, but that's not a gimme, right? Not a gimme at all. We're in a lot of trouble. Yes, Comfy, we're in a lot of trouble. You make a good point, Joe. They have two good tight ends. We can't cover tight ends. Yeah. So maybe I'm not saying Iowa State's a sure thing. I'm saying I expect us that's the last game that I would expect us to win. Okay. Not that we necessarily will. I also expected us, if we played up to our capabilities, to blow out West Virginia, right? But also I didn't pick us to do that because look at the way we've looked all year. Okay. Does 7-5 keep jobs? And I want to hear from y'all, right? If you are Mike Buddy and Sonny goes 7-5, right? After a 9-win season last year. Actually, I guess 10 with the bowl game. Is that right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 10 with the bowl game. Yeah. But a 9-win regular season. 5-7 the year before that. And then obviously the 2022, the magical year, right? Here's the other reality, right? Is we've got him signed until 2028 and his buyout's probably redonkulous, so you've really put yourself, thanks a lot, Jeremiah Donati. You put us in a really bad position here. If we need to make a change. Yeah, and you're right, Joe. I mean, Sonny, the success of the first year, this is why we are here. Sonny set the standard of Big 12 championship, or this was a failure. He said that. He did say that, right? So 75, in Sonny's own words, as you're saying, Joe, is a failure of a season. Yeah. Okay, now everyone's going to talk about this. No. The answer to this is no. First of all, I don't think Coach P would be interested in doing this. I feel very strongly that he would not be interested in doing this, but it worked at Kansas State because they were still in that old world of college football, in the new NIL world of college football, the revenue sharing world of college football. It's not built for the Gary Pattersons anymore. Not to mention that Gary Patterson's coaching style, kids just are softer these. Not to sound like the old man screaming at a cloud, but kids are soft these days. They don't respond to that kind of coaching. There's a reason Nick Saban is like, no, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore, right? He's not the oldest guy in the world. He could still be coaching, but he's like, I don't want to do it in this environment, right? And that's one of the best coaches, frankly, to ever do it, Nick Saban, right? And Gary Patterson's cut from a very similar cloth to Nick Saban, his style of coaching and the way he runs a program, right? That is not the solution. That's not the solution. Okay, it was 9 with the bowl game. That sounds more right. Thank you, Joe. Okay. Really comes down to how much TCU is willing to spend to be a contender. I mean, that's true, because that's the world we live in now, right? That's the world we live in now. And I guess it remains to be seen what the answer to that is. Okay, good to hear from a West Virginia fan. West Virginia fan here, not happy about the loss, but happy with how we played. Some very dumb 4th down calls and the onside kick with 3:20 left. Yeah. Well, there you could have taken it from us, and you really probably should have taken it from us. We were trying to give it to you, Dan. I don't know what else to tell you. We tried our hardest to lose that game. I do think that this is another situation where I think Rich Rod coming back, I think that this will yield dividends for West Virginia. We were talking about this during the offseason on the Biggest 12, watch it on Tuesdays. Okay, that I think that if you look at the two 2.0s of the Big 12, Scott Frost and Rich Rodriguez, I think Rich Rodriguez is the one that's going to work long term. I don't necessarily see Scott Frost working long term at UCF. UCF also having their own issues this year. All right, Comfy. I would consider the possibility of a change at head coach, but we would have to end 6-6 or 7-5. Well, we probably will. Right? We probably will. I'll say this: that was the one-handed catch at the end zone that wasn't called. Looked pretty cool. Oh, he's talking about the first Eric McAllister touchdown. Yeah, there were two potential Eric McAllister touchdowns that did not stay on the board. Yeah. Wouldn't you say Rich Rod coaches like GP mentality? I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, I've been in practices with Gary Patterson. I haven't been in practices with Rich Rodriguez. I don't know that he necessarily screams the same way as Gary Patterson does, as if possessed by the netherworld. But yeah, he's definitely tough. I mean, there is a niche for tough coaches. I mean, look at Andy Avalos, right? He's got the defense performing pretty well. But Gary Patterson, I say this with love, he's a little bit of a control freak, right? He liked to know everything that was going on in his program and have control over it. And I don't think that anything about this whole revenue sharing world, right, and kids wanting to just leave at the first sign of trouble, for a better situation, I don't think it's conducive to Gary Patterson's style. I mean, listen, Gary Patterson is a legend. He's the greatest coach in TCU history. There's a reason he has a statue, but there's also a reason that we got rid of him when we did, right? I'm old enough to remember 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021, right? That program was in free fall. It was not sustainable. It was not doing well. And as much as a lot of us hated it, a change had to be made. And it was the right change for 2021. But was it the right change for the long term? Wasn't really clear at the time, right? I didn't necessarily love the Sonny Dykes hire at the time. It ended up being great in 2022. But, is it this answer for the future? I don't know. I don't know. Right? It doesn't look like it so far. We need to be better. We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. I love how active y'all are in the chat here. Personally, I'll say this. Neither one of the neither one of those will work. Both styles are oh, well, yeah. Okay, so Daniel's not high on Rich Rodriguez is what it sounds like. Okay, Daniel. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a rebuilding year, man. I don't think you can judge him on this year. I really don't. Okay. I don't think we can afford James Franklin. I don't know if James Franklin would necessarily want to come here. I wouldn't mind having James Franklin. I wouldn't mind having him one bit. I think James Franklin could do great in the Big 12. But yeah, I don't see this happening. I really don't see this happening. Yes, and good point, Joe. He can't win big games either. Well, right. So right now we can't win big games or small games. So that's kind of our situation. Okay. So yeah. And here's the other thing. Yeah, Danner brings up a great point. Not only is this West Virginia team not very good, they were on the fourth string quarterback. Okay. And we beat them by 23-17. This is a team that has a lot of injuries. I mean, a lot of it. So now here I am talking myself out of that we can't beat Iowa State. This is a West Virginia team that we were playing the practice squad for the most part. And oh my God. Y'all pull me out of the dumpster. Convince me that this isn't doomsday. Convince me that we can go 500 in our last 4 games. I'm not so sure. All right. Well, we've gone for 34 minutes. That's about the usual time that we go on this thing. I appreciate y'all for coming on here on Saturday night and breaking it down together. 22 guys. Yeah. 22 guys injured. There you go. I hate to think of this, but there's really no way this staff had the team play held. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, yes, we're going into the bye week, and it's pretty hard to lose against the bye week. It's not impossible, but it's pretty hard to do. So hopefully, yeah, John, cornerback's not playing great. Not playing great. Definitely the weakest part of our defense. At least we can't lose next week, right? We can't lose next week. So until then, make sure you subscribe to the show, please. At Big 12 VOCFB, please subscribe there. Pretty please. And also TCU VOCFB. Give us a subscribe there as well. Follow me on Twitter at Clint_Foster55 and my personal YouTube channel at Clint Foster Creations. Okay. And check out the Voice of College Football wherever you do your media socializing. Okay. X, Instagram, all the places. The VOCFB. We're there. Download us wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to tune in on Tuesday night for the Biggest 12. We'll break down this game and everything else that happened in Big 12 world. So, until the end of that Iowa State game, which probably, I'll tell you right now, probably I'll do the post-game show like the next day. Those of you who watch the Biggest 12, Brownie is coming into town. So we're going to hit the town. We're going to paint it purple, not red. And we're going to have a big time of it. So I'll probably do the post-game show the following morning is what I'm anticipating. But until then, I love you, and go Frogs. See you around, folks. Bring it back in. Yes, if nothing else, at least we're better than Baylor. We'll end on that, comfy. See you around.